They blend into the crowd, searching stealthily and relentlessly for their target. You. As you relax against a lone bench amidst the murmuring populace, a man in a white uniform and hood sits down next to you. Then, when you least expect it, he leans close to your ear and whispers to you that you've tuned your ears into the GeekVerse. Geeks Creed Episode 5. Featuring your host, Taylor Field, with narrator and guest, Reuben Olson.
Welcome to the latest episode of Geeks Creed. I'm here with Taylor Field. How you feeling, Taylor?
I'm doing pretty good today.
And I'm going to drop that narrator voice right now, like it's hot garbage, and let's start talking about the latest trailer for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, this new trailer, it kind of dropped out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it to drop so fast. What was it? 20th Century Fox. They posted a picture on their Twitter, and they said, tomorrow, new trailer. And that's really quick to just drop the ball like that.
It just came out of nowhere, yeah.
It came out of nowhere. Yeah, it was a curveball. So, did you see the trailer right when it dropped?
Yes. When I woke up that morning after you told me the new trailer was coming out, I looked online and went, bam, I'm going to watch that.
Really? You actually did?
Yep,
really?
I sure did.
Oh, I was sitting refresh all night just waiting for my screen to just reload and just have boom, trailer. Well, quick rundown. I will go over the trailer a lot more in depth, but what did you think? Just a quick overall of the trailer.
Quick overall, I thought it was a lot better than the first trailer. That's for sure. Like everyone else is saying, maybe I'm not a big fan of the music, but let's put that aside. That's not really news. We got to see a lot of new scenes, a lot more of the bleeding effect, and it really showcased a lot more of what Assassin's Creed is about, which is cool. I really like that. And at the end, like, we work in the dark to serve the light. Oh, that was cool. I liked ending the trailer that way.
So that's one of his iconic phrases that Michael Fassbender seems to be saying, and that's something I actually want to ask you. Now, a lot of other people I noticed, they like the phrase, nothing is true, everything is permitted, we are assassins. Do you like that one more, or the we work in the dark to serve the light phrase?
I think they can save the other phrase for the movie.
Yeah?
It's this little secondary, this is still a good phrase that works great for a trailer to build hype. Because then you're not ruining the best quote yet, right?
That's very true. Okay, so diving right in, huge number one fact that I noticed was his missing finger. Now, I don't know, we didn't really notice anything in the other trailer that they put out or in pictures. You couldn't really see his finger missing.
Although it's interesting that he has the two hidden blades in a lot of promotional artwork, but he's only missing the one finger on the one hand.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, as I haven't played all the games, is it like that with the assassins that they're always missing the blade finger on both hands, or is it like a one-hand thing?
Well, that's the thing. With like Assassin's Creed 1, Altair, I mean, he only had one wrist blade, and he, of course, had that finger missing. So at a certain point in history, they reached a point where the assassins stopped cutting their fingers off and just modified their wrist blades so that they wouldn't have to lose their fingers. And at that time, then they started wielding dual wrist blades. So we don't really see what happens when an older assassin loses both his fingers because he has two wrist blades.
When did Altair lose his finger, out of curiosity?
There's a very short animation you can watch. I think it's called Initiation, and it's Altair going through these trials, and then he gets through this trial after completing this obstacle course and finds the wrist blade, and he puts it on, and when he puts it on and activates it, the blade slices his finger off, and that's his initiation, and he did that when he was really young.
Okay, see, I always had it in my own headcanon here that on his first assassination attempt, he went to stab some guy, and as he's like holding him like a baby, like in all the scenes, the assassinated guy looks down and sees this bloody finger on his chest. And Altair's gasping in pain, like, oh god, I didn't know that would happen.
Yeah, it's a very intense initiation. Do you think you cut your finger off?
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah?
That's so cool looking.
I thought so. It's totally cool looking.
As long as it's the whole finger, not like, I don't want to be left with the stub.
Well, no, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's the whole finger. That'd be weird if you got a little stub. That'd be kind of weird, because the blade is supposed to be like that missing finger in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to have it clean off.
Although what I've noticed, especially in the artwork there with Michael Fassbender, when he's missing that finger and the blade's out, even with his fingers spread far apart, the blade is thick enough that it just overlaps his other 2 fingers.
You're right.
That would be very scary for Altair if it was the same for him. I mean, he loses the finger, but does he also lose, like, the sides of his other fingers?
Half of the other finger. When I wear my wrist blade, I do notice that too. The blade does come really close to those other fingers, as opposed to just being exactly where that one finger is supposed to be.
Yeah.
As for what we were saying, I'm not sure at what point they stopped cutting off their fingers. I know that in Assassin's Creed 2, like, Ezio he was getting his wrist blade put on, and Leonardo was saying, well, the wrist blade is designed so that you have to sacrifice a finger or something like that. And Ezio was like, okay, get it over with. And then Leonardo was going to cut his finger off.
I remember that.
Then he's like, oh, I'm just kidding. The blade's been modified so you don't have to lose a finger. And his face is like in fear or whatever. But it is very interesting to see that how they have 2 wrist blades and only 1 finger is missing. I don't fully understand that. And then with Callum Lynch in the future, he's able to wield both wrist blades but not sacrifice that 1 finger as well, which is interesting. So hope maybe something they'll cover in the film. It's
probably some kind of a trial or just to prove a point that he's an assassin.
Yeah.
Be a part of the Brotherhood, you know.
Exactly.
It's like a gang tattoo.
It is. A very brutal equivalent of a gang tattoo. That's a good way to sum it up. I'd prefer the tattoo, probably. So, another option, the old Animus. So, this is an Animus from Assassin's Creed 2. It's the Animus 2.0. And in the trailer there, I don't know if you remember when we were just watching it. Did you spot it out there?
See, I was looking for it, but I couldn't spot it.
Yeah?
That was my problem. It went by so quickly, I'm not sure if I really saw it or not.
See, I'm not sure if it's designed to be in the film as, like, oh, everyone watching this movie, make sure you catch on to it there, or if it's just slid into the background as, like, a nod.
Like
I'm not sure. Yeah. But it's nonetheless, it's still pretty cool to see it in there. The new Animus. How do you feel more about that now after seeing it in action, not just lifting him up to the heavens?
I think it'll be great. I mean, it's different. That's fine with me. All the bleed over scenes and the fight scenes look good when he's in it and he's moving around. I mean, that does bring us more into the present, watch him fight compared to the old. It made sense in the games just to have the table because you never go back to the present in the middle of a fight scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to do that in the movie, they kind of want to show something more than him just lying there on a table.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, cinematically, it works great.
Mm-hmm. So with the bleeding effect then, in those certain scenes, I think it was 2 scenes there, did you like those?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think that, because we were just talking about this before, that as he is in that bleeding effect and that's going on, as it's happening in the past, as he's reliving it, it's actually happening in the present day as well. They're kind of, even though they're separated by time, what's happening is very similar as they're 2 separate characters going along a similar journey in a sense.
I would believe so, because in the trailer there's a part where you see after he's just like assassinated someone, his face in the past looks mortified. Doesn't even look like he was expecting to kill someone. He just looks completely disgruntled, and it cuts to his present self making the same face.
Yeah.
So I think it's almost very like virtual reality in a sense, where his actions in the present are just overlapping that of the past. So maybe it's not exactly how his ancestor did things. It'll be more like his body and his face imprinted into the past. Mm-hmm. So his expressions can still be different or something like that. Mm-hmm. Another thing with the bleed over effect there too is the special effects look really cool in the present time. When he has the bleed over, you're seeing like the past people kind of as like blurry holograms and stuff. So I'm excited to see what they do with the special effects. And I think it's going to work out really well for them because of that one scene where he goes off the cliff and he like launches the rope thing. You said it was from one of the games, right?
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah, okay. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's definitely an interesting addition to to see another weapon from the games on the big screen. One thing though, they didn't develop, as far as I know, they didn't develop that until they were in like the Industrial Revolution. And that was more of an exclusive thing just to Jacob and Evie Fry. They had help designing that rope launcher because they got the blueprints from a bad guy, a Templar. So to see that like 300 years before their time being used by other assassins, it's interesting to see that kind of thing pop up. Like, I know Altair, he in Assassin's Creed Revelations, he made a gun and he actually fired off his wrist gun, and this is in medieval ages, like the 13th century, and he's got a freaking gun. But to see the technology kind of jumble back and forth between the centuries, it's a really neat aspect. And again, it's a nice nod to Jacob and Evie Fry from Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Definitely. As far as the technology goes, I mean, it makes sense. We think now that maybe the Egyptians might have had some kind of a form of a light bulb or even batteries.
Really?
So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past assassins to be able to make a rope that launches out of a device.
Yeah.
It can be brought back up. It's a useful device for their job. So I can justify it in my head. Whether the movie goes out of its way to justify it and say, hey, this is how it's made, or just throw it in there for that one scene, whatever, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, Ubisoft, as you said, like with the light bulb and such, Ubisoft, they look for those things in civilizations in our history, and they feed off of it like piranhas to blood. Like, they love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So then to see something like that pop in this kind of scenario, I wouldn't be surprised. Another thing with the trailer, that new assassin that we saw, he was standing next to this, there was a guard. He was in a uniform that we first of all did not recognize, but he flips his like blade around in his hand. I don't know how he does that, and then slices his head.
Yeah.
Boom. Now,
So quick and fast.
very quick and fast. Now, he does not really resemble the Michael K. Williams assassin, and that's the other guy that we see talking with Michael Fassbender in the Abstergo facility. We know that Michael K. Williams is the descendant of an assassin called Baptiste, and Baptiste is kind of like a voodoo-looking guy. He's got like, in the games, he's got like face paint of a skull on his face, and he's very tribal-looking.
That's quite different from a Baptiste. I mean, there's Baptiste, but he's not a Baptiste. He doesn't dunk your head underwater.
Definitely not. No. But I wanted to know what you think of this. Like, do you think that it is really this ancestor Baptiste, or is it not? Do you think that these present day assassins are going into the past, and their past ancestor assassins are all together, and they're brought together in the past as they are in the
like
present
some
day?
kind of a Unity Syndicate type thing?
Yeah, in a sense.
I mean, that'd be a neat idea. I'd like to see a few of them be from different timelines. I don't want them all to be jumbled together and be like, hey, they wake up in the same prison cells going, man, did you see that crazy scene where I stabbed that guy? Wasn't that cool? Yeah, man, that was pretty great. I'm glad I got to be there 800,000 years ago. Well, it wasn't quite that long, but yeah, you get it, right? Like, no. I want to maybe even just a couple of flashbacks to different timelines just for the other assassins. That would be cool to see.
Yeah, it is a nice thing to see is the diverse ethnicity of cultures and people that are locked up by Abstergo, because then you know that the Templars they've brought in people from all different parts of the world, and they're studying all these backgrounds, and it really goes to show how far the assassins branched out diverse wise in different cultures and everything, and that's another really cool aspect that you get to see. I guess the next thing I have in my notes is the song. So I feel like this is definitely something that sooner or later we should get to talking. You didn't like it.
Not a huge fan. Again, though, when I watched the trailer again today, it wasn't as bad as when I first woke up and watched the trailer. Didn't stand out as much, but it still doesn't feel like a proper Assassin's Creed song to me. As someone who's only played the first few games up to 4, not all of 3, the music has always been cinematic, thematic to the era, the bit of that present day cinematic vibe to it coming back and forth, like proper trailer music, something from Two Steps from Hell, right? And then to have this very modern music with lyrics and stuff, like I Own the World or whatever they say there. That doesn't fit for me in my head with Assassin's Creed.
So you're looking for more or less something, no lyrics, no techno dubstep, just kind of Assassin's Creed 2 theme, kind of.
Like, they can keep that music in the present day, but if they're showing clips of the past, I don't want to hear that nonsense.
See, you're definitely not alone. There's so many people that keep saying, oh, where's the Assassin's Creed 2 theme? Use that. People are even throwing Two Steps from Hell songs up, saying, use this. And they're even redoing the trailer with Two Steps from Hell songs.
Yeah.
But it's like I told you not too long ago, I definitely feel like a lot of people that are disliking the trailer music are people who have played 1 or 2, maybe 3 Assassin's Creed games. Not that that's a bad thing, but they have a very strong sense of, oh, Assassin's Creed is this, with this kind of music. That's what it should be. It fits with the games, which I think is great. I stand by that, but then even with the more modern Assassin's Creed games like Syndicate, Unity, even Black Flag, they have that kind of techno songs put in their trailers. But then when the game comes out, it's a whole different score, soundtrack. No techno, really, no dubstep. So a lot of people are freaking out and saying, "Oh, if this is how this movie's starting off already, it's just going to be downhill." And they're making all these rash calls.
That's
There's
true.
nothing to worry about.
Chances are the movie itself won't even have those trailer songs in it. It's not too often you hear trailer songs in the actual movie unless it's a theme song, right? But this isn't Power Rangers, so it'll be interesting to find out.
Another neat thing about the music actually is the director, actually, Justin Kurzel, his brother, his name is Jed, and he is actually composing the music. So,
A guy named Jed is composing the music?
Jed, yeah.
Sounds very country. Wow.
Country good or country bad?
Like some kind of guy who sits down and says, "I'm Jed, man, let's roll. Get her done, boys." And starts plunking away on a banjo. Like,
Doesn't sound great.
I apologize to all the Jeds out there. I don't mean to stereotype you. But I think I've watched quite a few movies that have a country bumpkin named Jed. So that's, yeah.
Well, hopefully, I mean, hey, maybe Michael Fassbender can pull off banjo as he's running across the rooftops.
That's his new weapon. He whips out a banjo and just starts plunking away at it. And the music is so bad. His target's ears bleed and they die of blood loss.
Well, you know, it'd be a lot better than getting stabbed 1,000 times to death, I guess. No.
No, it's not.
You'd rather get
I'd
killed
rather
by
get
banjo.
stabbed 1,000 times
Really?
than have to suffer through that.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know then. With the music, as long as it's not Michael Fassbender playing, it's supposed to be Spanish rhythms that are all like distorted with basically they're playing around with all these Spanish themes and rhythms and just music and twisting it around.
Yeah, okay,
I
I
don't
get
know in
that.
what sense.
So making like a more modern cinematic type of music out of old Spanish instruments and songs?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that works for me. That's
Probably
cool.
incorporating a banjo some
Oh,
point
well,
along there.
Maybe not a banjo, but certainly some Spanish themes, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice. At least people can kind of relax. You're getting your dose of past songs, whatever you want, that kind of Assassin's Creed 2 feeling. I should hope. I mean, who knows? The wub could just kind of just pop out of nowhere. And I think a lot of people would probably walk out of the theater if that happened.
Ooh.
I hope not, but there's a lot of people who are anti-dubstep. I'm not one of them. I personally love the song used in the new trailer.
I think dubstep is fine when it's used as an instrument in a song and is not the main part of the song.
Yeah.
The wub wub is fine in the background, occasionally, but it doesn't make a song in itself.
See, that was one of the things with the first trailer, with Kanye's song. There was a very good bass and very good rhythm in the background, but it was, as soon as the lyrics jumped in, we all know that's where it just went downhill from there. This trailer had really good bass, and I'm very much against songs with lyrics. Most of my songs that I listen to on my iPod are songs without lyrics. They're scores, they're Halo, Assassin's Creed, Star Wars. They don't have lyrics. That's how I like it.
Yeah.
And so when I heard this song, it had lyrics. I was a little on the fence at first, but then hearing it more and more and more, it just kind of, I loved how it went with the assassins in the past going along their motions over the rooftops.
That's partly what's different for me too, is I listen to a lot of music. And a lot of mine does have lyrics to it. And I have a lot of different songs from different artists. But just hearing that one song in that trailer didn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're definitely not alone. So that's good. It's created a huge rift between the fans.
Created a huge brotherhood of people who hate this song.
Oh, yeah. That is
But
very true.
I'll admit, it's definitely far better than Kanye West. And I would take dubstep over that any day, too.
I agree. I think I can't say most people would, because a lot of people say the Kanye song is better off than this song. So you can't really make people happy in the end.
No.
You're going to always have haters. But speaking of brotherhood, brings us to another little transition here. Jeremy Irons' character, Alan Rickon, says in the trailer, "We've traced your ancestors' bloodline back to the Assassin's Creed."
See, that is specifically put into the movie to prevent the old fogies, the old people that come in with their children and sit down and go, "Is this Cars 2? Welcome to the Assassin's Creed." "Oh, we're in the wrong theater." And they get up and they go to the right one.
So it's just to clarify and
Yeah, that's all that is.
Okay, that's good.
That's why they didn't use Brotherhood.
Yeah. Would you have preferred them to use Brotherhood?
In the actual movie, yes.
Yeah? Why is that?
I do not like the title drop. I don't know what it is about it, but title drops to me are very cringeworthy. If I hear a bad title drop, I shudder. It doesn't fit in dialogue very much at all.
I agree. I very much agree. And you know what's coming in most movies, and you just, like you said, it's cringeworthy. I mean, I just kind of, I tell myself that, okay, this is a Templar who doesn't care about the Assassins, and he's just throwing it out there, oh, they're the Assassin's Creed. He doesn't go in depth about it. Do you know really what it means, the Creed?
From the games, I don't remember a whole lot about it. It's been too long for me. But to go back a step here on the topic of title drops and how they dealt with that, having Assassin's Creed be an established franchise, I'm trying to think, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. If this was the first Assassin's Creed thing ever, it's like you're making a plot, you're making a movie, and you pull that term out and say, okay, hey, that was a nice line, let's make that the title of the movie. That's how a good title drop is done, because it's unintentional. Like Back to the Future, when Doc says, we have to go back! Back to the future! It doesn't feel out of place at all, because that's something that he would say.
Yeah.
But in here, in this movie, you just think, oh, they put that in there because the movie's called Assassin's Creed, right? That was my problem.
Yeah, it definitely stands out in a very non-fluid kind of way.
Yeah,
So,
maybe leading up to it, if they start going over the Assassin's Creed, like what their actual creed is, okay, maybe it'll feel better then, but...
well, hopefully maybe they do in that scene. We only got to see that one, 2-second scene, so maybe they do go over it, because what the creed is it's a set of rules, guidelines in a sense, that they're supposed to follow.
Ape not kill ape.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So to just call it out as, oh no, the whole organization is called a creed. I mean, it kind of fits, but it doesn't really. I mean, as an assassin at heart, I don't see it fitting, but maybe it's just a Templar who doesn't give a shit about assassins. He'll call it what he wants. But, I mean, I didn't notice it at the beginning. Second time I watched it, it stood out. Reading people's comments stood out even more. Also, though, one of the past scenes, again, showed in the trailer, you get to see all those robed figures. That's what I mentioned to you. Now...
all those Templars. Oh.
Templars?
It looks like were they Templars or Assassins?
No. Well, I'm convinced that they're Assassins because at the one part where you pause, you can see that emblem on the one guy's hood.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was Templars at first because it looked like a seedy kind of creepy kind of...
It did. It looked like they were trying to summon something like, ooh.
Yeah, it definitely did.
It was that red filter over the scene, to be honest. Made it look very hellish.
Yeah, and it resembled, too, that present-day scene where you see the guys in the black robes walking out of the lobby of the hotel or something.
Well, I mean, think about that. A red filter over a scene is the same scene. Picture it in your head. You associate it with bad things, and in Assassin's Creed, you fight the Templars, right? Now, picture it with a white, hazy blue filter. Suddenly they're Assassins, not Templars, right? Mm-hmm. Get what I mean?
I do. They can change the whole scene entirely.
Brings a whole new meaning to shedding light on that situation, right?
Yeah. So you think they went with the wrong filter for that scene then?
That's exactly it.
Putting out the wrong idea. I mean, I could be wrong. I could have mistaken that symbol for something else. I think it looks like the Assassin's logo. I wouldn't put money down on it, but nonetheless, for that scene, I think it really captures the element of the game being in the past. To see that kind of stuff on the screen, it's like it's taken right from the video game. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that scene in general?
It set the tone. Mm-hmm. I mean, besides my confusion as to who they were, it really brings you back into this different timeline. Like, oh, he went back somewhere. This is not the present day. If it was the present day, it would be some kind of conspiracy theory level stuff out in a cemetery, but it wasn't that, clearly. So it kind of transitions you well into the past, yeah.
So do you think those kind of scenes, obviously that's a scene that we'll get to see as Callum Lynch goes into the Animus, but do you think when Callum Lynch isn't in the Animus, at the beginning of the trailer, for instance, he had all those drawings on the cell walls of his prison cell?
And it was interesting that you brought that up, because I never really thought about those before, but if he's already had some kind of a bleeding effect, because his connection to his ancestors is so strong, that would be pretty neat. Because they said that they traced his bloodline back to the Assassin's Creed. How would they have figured that out, right? It would have to have been maybe from some kind of bleeding effect or something that he did in the present day that alerted these people that he has a connection, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they can use that. Like, oh, hey, he's kind of drawing these pictures. He has some kind of weird memories of a different life. And that's what starts the whole thing.
So it's something he does unintentionally then?
Yeah.
See, you remember Desmond, how he was caught?
Oh, no. I remember he was in a bar.
Yeah, he was just a bartender, and then somehow he got caught. I don't fully know the circumstances of how he was found and how they figured out he was the descendant of Altair. But, I mean, that gives...
I think they could have traced it up. Like, oh, hey, Altair was this big figure that these people knew of. So they went through his family tree, and they tried to find out who a present-day relative was. Mm-hmm. That's one way they could do it without, like, Desmond just leaking that information out there by accident somehow.
But then it would definitely take a long time. The way that you described, definitely, it condenses it in like 30 seconds, not even amount of time, explains it. And for a movie, I think it gets the job done at explaining to these people what's going on. How was he found? How was he detected?
That's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah. The scene that follows after that, you see all of these in the desert, all of these trucks and jeeps pull up, and they obviously take a guy down. You don't see who the guy is. Do you think that was Michael Fassbender in that scene?
Could be. Mm-hmm. Who else would they be showing, really? Just showing a random guy getting taken down in the trailer? Or?
I heard a rumor that it was his father. And that his father gets taken down, and Callum Lynch... Michael Fassbender has to go off on his own, and eventually he just ends up with the wrong crowd, and then that's when Abstergo ends up taking him in and arrests him and kills him off, fakes death. And
I wouldn't have been able to guess any of that. So I mean, in my head, it was just Michael.
Do you think that the film should definitely start off with Michael, or if they started off with his parents or something, that might be a bit too much?
No, it's got the whole ancestors theme to it, right? Mm-hmm. So they can very well start off with his parents and work their way down. Show him later. They don't need to start with the main character. The trailers have established him. The Assassin's Creed story establishes all these different related people. So starting with his parents might be kind of neat. Mm-hmm. They could even do the kind of a jump cut too, where like in Assassin's Creed, I think it was 1, there's that scene where you're climbing the tower to go get in bed with that one girl, and you go, bam, that's where the memories end or something like that.
Yeah.
They could do that in the movie. Start with that, like, well, you thought you were following this guy, but he just went and did the naughty bit, and now, bam, we're ejected into this other guy's mind.
That'd be a neat twist. Yeah. It would be cool to take that from the games. Ubisoft is definitely at no point in cheating themselves out if they have something like that from the games that they can mimic. I think they would definitely do that.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. So with the cameras, the angles, all the shots of the film, the one scene for me I thought was great was where the 3 assassins, they're running, getting shot up by the crossbows, and they jump off the one building and they land, and as they're falling, the camera's just gliding downwards with them, and it seems so smooth. It's not just where, like, here's one shot of a guy running through a window and then here's the shot on the outside.
That's what current technology can do for us. I was reading that they're using drones for a lot of those footage scenes. Like, when they want to record some action in the air or something from above, they just get a drone to do it because they fly so smoothly, right? So you get a camera on that, and then they have a drone up there, and that's how they captured that scene in the trailer.
Really?
Is they just had a drone following them with the camera and down the building.
I didn't think of that at all. I thought they had like a camera arm going down, or a guy was jumping down with a camera as well. But that's a really neat. So I would think that like Prince of Persia, for example, would have benefited greatly from that kind of technology.
Oh, it would have. Yes, it would have.
So it's unfortunate that movie came out a bit too soon, but it's at the same time it's very good that Assassin's Creed has been pushed so far late that it's been able to use that kind of technology. I think that's a great asset. It worries me what would have happened to the movie if it came out just a couple years short of the drone technology.
It would have just been shaky cams for every action scene, and then like just still shots of a guy jumping on a building in the distance.
Oh, I couldn't watch it. Oh, that'd be horrible. So back to Michael K. Williams' character. He says at one part, they're watching you, trying to figure out who you are, to Michael Fassbender. What do you think that's about?
That's Abstergo.
Abstergo?
Yeah, they're watching you, trying to find out who you are. Oh no, it could be the other people that are being held by Abstergo.
The other descendants.
The assassins. They're watching you. They're trying to find out who you are. Maybe when these other assassins go back in time, if they're in the same timeline, they'll be looking around for another assassin, trying to find out which one Michael Fassbender is.
Yeah, you think so?
That's much better than what I was initially thinking.
Because they do show when he says that, you see this one other descendant at the table kind of look over as if they're implying he's looking over at Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Because, I mean, why would Abstergo even need to figure out who he is if they already know? That's dumb.
Exactly. So you think it would be the other assassins maybe?
Yeah,
who
yeah,
are
that's who it
interested in
is.
him.
Because they want to probably like escape or form some kind of a plan or get together in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably looking for a very strong assassin. So figuring out who he is, they figure out his power level, get together, get him on their side.
Which we know definitely happens because, I mean, most people were worried about, oh, the present day is going to be so boring. But clearly, you see Michael K. Williams, he does like a sideways backflip in the present day and kicks the shit out of this guard. So there's obviously
It's jumping
good
right to
action.
It's really condensing what happened in Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Getting right to the point of, okay, present day is all just the Animus lying in bed and walking around. No. In the movie, it's going to be, it starts with a little bit of that and then works its way up to the big escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how far beyond that the movie will go. Is it going to be like, they're not going to show ending clips in the trailers, but is it going to get up to that point and then the last 20 minutes of the film is going to be some new content we haven't really seen yet?
Yeah.
Or are they going to like really save the last half of the movie to be this big thing happening in the present day?
Do you think that the trailers have given away too many of the scenes, that with the scenes that we've seen, it's already easy to piece up the movie? Like you said,
No.
It's got this whole story and then it
Yeah.
builds up to the escape. Do you think that's a problem, that it's already a bit predictable in that sense?
No, they need to do that because it's a video game franchise being made into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So many people have doubts about that. Video game movies are always considered to be these big bad things, right? So they need to try and show as much footage of as they can of these really cool scenes and what's going on to build hype for it. I think it's necessary in this case.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you on that. I mean, there is the issue today where like Batman vs Superman is talked about on GeekVerse all the time, where the trailer revealed too much. Literally, the whole movie was just spoiled because of the trailer.
Yeah, that's a huge problem with comedies too, is they throw all their best jokes in the trailers.
Yeah.
And you go to watch it, and it's like, well, I can't laugh at this a second time. So why did they throw that joke at me, right?
Mm-hmm. So with Assassin's Creed, then, you don't think it'll be too predictable when you go into the theater? You're gonna be like, oh, well, I know what scene's coming up.
I hope not. I can't possibly predict that. I think if there's a new trailer released shortly before, I might not watch it just so I can get the movie to its full effect.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think, they will do one more trailer?
They might. And if they do release a new trailer, I hope it's in November and not December.
Yeah, no
Too
kidding.
close to the movie's release date. I wouldn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
I think I'll try and avoid new footage or anything like that getting close to the date of the movie, just so I can sit down and watch it with a fresh mind and not be thinking, I just saw this in the trailer as I watch the movie.
Yeah. So with this new trailer, there was a lot of repetitive scenes from the first trailer. Do you think that kind of took away from the second trailer at all?
No, it's fine.
It's fine?
No.
Okay, because a lot of people, I guess they might have not wanted to see the same scenes over again, kind of mashed together, think it was kind of pointless.
It fixes the first trailer for me. So.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, then, going over those details, you're much happier with that trailer then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. This new trailer really just does it for me. It really makes me feel happy about it.
So
I really want to see the movie. Mm-hmm. That's what this trailer did for me. I have hope for it now, like really big hopes.
Really?
And I really hope those don't get crushed, because this whole time I've been trying to stay neutral on it, as not like a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, but seeing the effort they're putting into it, seeing the debates going on the internet, I want it to be good. I really want it to be good.
You think this could be that video game movie that may not do amazingly well, but may break that horrible chain of video games not doing so good? Video game movies.
No, because it's up against Star Wars, right? I feel like it's going to be, if it's a good movie, it's going to be a cult hit. Like, It's not going to get a whole bunch of money. It's going to be one of those things like Pacific Rim, where so many people were like, what's that movie? It looks dumb. And then the people that liked Mecha, that wanted that kind of a thing in the West, those people who went and saw it and loved it, and that movie was really good for them, wasn't good for other people.
Yeah.
Right? It might be one of those.
Luckily, Pacific Rim is getting a sequel. So if Assassin's Creed can relate to any movie and it relates to that, then hopefully it gets a sequel too.
Yeah.
I support that.
It won't be quite as culty as maybe Napoleon Dynamite. Definitely not as culty as The Room. Let's not even go to that territory, actually. That's far and beyond good movies that are cult hits. This is a bad movie that's a cult hit. No. Assassin's Creed won't be that, for sure. It'll have some success. Maybe not huge, but I think it'll have the success that Ubisoft can realistically achieve.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to sum it up. Well, then moving on from the trailer then, I do have some game news. So The only Assassin's Creed game we're getting this year is obviously the Ezio Collection. $59.99, November 15th. There was an interview with Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, and he was explaining how, because they were interviewing him in regards to, oh, this is the first year without an Assassin's Creed game. Are we going to see one next year because we've waited a whole year now? And basically he was saying we're giving it the time that it needs. Whenever it's ready, that doesn't also necessarily mean 2017. So he's implying that we may have to wait longer. So this is huge.
That's good.
It is good, yeah.
That means it could be a different Assassin's Creed game. Like something I kind of brought up before, which would be good to bring up now. I think the Assassin's Creed games, from what I've seen, are starting to get a little bit stale. Mm-hmm. They're very cut and paste, and they do continue the story. And for story purposes, that's great. But gameplay-wise, people keep bringing up the same issues and problems over and over and over with the Assassin's Creed games. I liked 1. It was very good. It had some boring bits in the gameplay. 2 was very good story-wise, but again, something that really stood out were like escort quests, eavesdrop quests, follow this guy, follow that guy. Assassin's Creed 4? Whew, okay, let's start the game. For 1 hour, you're doing just following missions, right? That's not a way to start a video game, but once you get past it, it's pretty fun. It's got its bits that are really, really, really good. Really good, padded out by parts that are just kind of... You've done it before in the past 5 games, right?
Yeah.
So if they really take their time with the next Assassin's Creed, I really hope that they can change that up. They can change up the formula a bit. Keep going with the themes, but change up the gameplay into something different. The action scenes are great. Let's keep those, but let's find a different way to transition to those bits. Let's keep the story and the action flowing smoothly. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's what they're doing, because these other games that have been coming out every year, which are cut and paste, that's why they're coming out so frequently, is because they can just keep following that same formula. They don't have a lot of thinking to do in the coding department, in the development of the games, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that makes me excited to know that we have to wait longer, because if we were to wait longer and just get another game that's the same as the others, even Ubisoft knows that wouldn't be a good thing.
Yeah. I did hear rumors that they're trying to go follow along like a Witcher kind of style gameplay wise, a lot more open world. I think that would be a huge boost to Assassin's Creed, because Assassin's Creed is all based around open world. It's a whole interactive city that's constantly changing.
With the same 3 missions.
Exactly.
Everywhere. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Get away from that. I could go the Witcher style, where every new quest is its own self-contained story. It's not simply go retrieve this and bring it back, or follow this guy and maybe assassinate a target. No, or race to this flag. Witcher 3 had, okay, this village is having problems, there's a monster, there's your theme. Those are all the different missions and contracts. But it's the story revolving around those, and oh, let's learn about this character, and this is their backstory. They became a ghost and a spirit. I have to go do this. I have to get this kind of a build up, this training done to be able to beat this monster and figure and learn about it. And then you get to a very unique location. You get a very unique boss battle. That's not a part of the main game. And those were the quests in The Witcher. If Assassin's Creed could do something like that, like, here's this really big bad guy, and we need to assassinate him. Let's learn about him. Let's go find out maybe where his hanging out spots are. Mm-hmm. Let's not do it in a way where you have to just follow him around, but maybe you have to like fight through some guys and get to a certain location and unlock a cool new part of the map that you wouldn't ever otherwise get to.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to do it.
Yeah. No, I agree. The longer they spend, I'm with you on that. I couldn't be more happier. It sucks. It's a sacrifice all of us diehard fans have to make, but in the long run, if it means we get a better quality content game that hopefully brings back a lot of the fans and a lot more fans, then I'm willing to make that sacrifice, because you're exactly right. At this point, as much as I hate to say it, like, I love the games, they're great, but it definitely is story driven now at this point.
Yeah,
there are new additions and awesome new features, but definitely it's mostly for story.
There's new moves, there's new equipment, there's new little things, right?
Yeah,
but it's the core of the game that's remained the same. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's not good thing at the same time. Mm-hmm. For fans of the series like you, for instance, that's great. You get more Assassin's Creed. You love the gameplay already. Let's keep going with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm just happy that Ubisoft themselves actually, they noticed this and they're changing it. They're not pulling a Treyarch Infinity Ward and, oh, here we go, new COD, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Ghosts. They're going to step back. They're going to just kind of work with it.
It's like, what could we possibly add to the next game? Zombies, dragons. Let's throw dragons in and mecha, gigantic mechs. What about the gameplay? Well, let's not include any of those. The dragons and mechs are for cutscenes only. Oh, okay.
And they did just that. How about that? For COD, right? Not Assassin's Creed.
No, if Assassin's Creed did that, well, that would be a thing in its own.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah.
So that's all I have for the game news. Then some new toy stuff. I showed you the pictures of the Apple of Eden.
Oh, that looks so good.
Now, this toy sold out. The Apple of Eden sold out really, really quick. As soon as I saw the pictures for it, I tried to check online, see if I could buy it off of Ubisoft's shop, and sold out. Couldn't pre-order. It releases and ships worldwide on the day the movie releases, but it was unavailable.
Do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think there's going to be an Apple of Eden in the movie?
I definitely know the Apple of Eden is in the movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. There is a picture. I can't remember if I mentioned this a couple of Geeks Creeds ago, but when I think it was the E3 reveal where they were talking a little bit more about the movie, they showed a scene with a priest or someone in the past scene, and he's got his arms raised and he's holding the Apple of Eden. You can see it clearly. And then even the Michael K. Williams, I think it was, said that on the set, you can see like, oh, you have the Apple of Eden's positioned over here on the side, and you got all these other features and stuff. So it's definitely making an appearance in the movie. And then seeing the toy itself definitely kind of backs that up, I would think. The toy is... I thought that the $59.99 Apple of Eden was just a little lamp. I didn't know it could actually come off of its little pedestal. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that it glows. I think that is so cool. It adds to it.
And then the other one that you showed me, it comes with like a really cool chest that presumably you open it up and the ball goes in, right?
It does, yeah.
It fits in probably in like a nice velvety.
I'm thinking so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if because I'm getting that set. I don't know if I want to take it out of the package. I just, like, I want to hold it so badly, but it's just, I feel like something like this is going to be very limited, because even they say here it's a numbered edition.
Oh, yeah.
2,700.
So what you need to do is you need to track down one of the other ones that was cheaper just so you can hold it.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have to do that.
Because there's people that have already bought it and probably put it up on eBay for a slightly higher price to try and resell it, right?
Yep, $250.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
I know, it's not fair.
On other toys, what do we got? I haven't seen some of these.
We have new figurines. Now, you've seen some of the figurines I currently own. Like, I'm a big collector of those.
Yeah.
These ones are going for $59.99, so...
They're statues or action figure type?
They're statues, not action figures. So I know you people listening can't see it. I'm showing Reuben right now. If you want to see these pictures, you can check out Facebook Assassin's Creed Universe. I have them posted on there. But anyway, so this is Maria from the movie. I think it's awesome. Dual wrist blades, incredibly detailed. It was
kind of a
3D
nice,
scan.
like nice arm out pose with the hidden blades. She's
Exactly.
standing with her blue cloak, and she's got a base piece that almost looks like it could connect to something else, like a puzzle almost. Does it? Am I right?
It does.
Oh,
it does.
I know my figures. Yes.
So here we have Aguilar, of course. Awesome again.
Nice. Okay.
Such amazing detail put in the crossbow.
He's got that same pose that he does in the pictures that we looked at. We were looking at some behind the scenes photos. And there's one where he's looking over his shoulder, kind of disgruntled with two guards in the background. And then there's a present day photo of him looking over his shoulder. His arms are down in the exact same pose. I just noticed that is the same pose.
It's exactly the same pose. Yeah, you
Wow.
are right. There's something about that pose. That seems like to be the key pose.
Okay.
So both these statues are $59.99 Canadian, and then here they are together.
Oh, that looks really nice. They do. The bases interlock, and then they're both kind of looking in the same direction once they're interlocked.
Yeah.
Standing back to back. Okay.
Yeah, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Then Ubisoft just started really doing statues like this. With Assassin's Creed Syndicate, they had Jacob and Evie Fry, both separate statues, but then you could combine them into a diorama like this, and it looked awesome. So to see it on this larger scale with these movie figures, I wish I had the money to buy all these things. They're so cool.
See, and that's what I love about what they're doing with the movie too, is you look at that, and it doesn't have that disconnect from the franchise, like Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles. You look at the figures in the store, and you go, oh, they look like they're from a movie.
Yeah.
They look like they're from kind of a gross spin-off, right? Mm-hmm. But these, you could set right next to your other Assassin's Creed figurines, statues, action figures, and they fit in. You go, what game were they from?
Exactly. They fit right in. The last bit of toys stuff that is out is Aguilar's Hidden Blade.
Ooh,
now,
beautiful.
Compared to the other wristblade replicas they've released, this one by far looks the most elegant and just smooth and just it looks so.
It looks like a
comfy.
real piece.
It does. It's $69.99. It looks like it would just fit nicely on. It's your just generic simple blade. It's nothing fancy like.
It's got that detail, that embedded gold plating at the very base of the blade, around a leather gauntlet that's not just a piece of brown, but it's got like the interlocking woven parts, the patterning near the base, the little diamond around the center. Like, that does look very fancy, and it's not an eyesore of detail. It's the perfect blend, right?
Yeah, it's a spring-loaded retractable blade with locking mechanism, just like.
And you don't have to cut off your finger to wear it.
Don't have to cut off your finger, exactly. Unless you choose to by your own hand.
They're probably going to show the hand that has the finger on it for that one on the box. They won't sell the other wrist blade on the other hand.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's it for the toys. I think it's absolutely like I'm set. I'm getting one of them. I have to get more.
Well, thanks to you, I have to invest in Hidden Blades. Probably some more figurines to go along with my Arno, and just I want to keep going because they do look cool.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. They go together. Like would you prefer the statues or would you like the action figures more? Because they have both.
That's a whole new topic in itself. But to break it down, for Assassin's Creed, I would prefer the statues.
Yeah.
The action figures are cool. But when I buy those, I like to buy ones that have the flexibility to really recreate any pose I want with lots of accessories. Mm-hmm. With these ones, it's like, well, they stand there and you can do a couple poses. And at that point, I just want a statue because it has more detail. Mm-hmm. The action figures are fine, but it's not something I'm going to play with a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I would probably have to lean toward the statues for that.
Statues.
And those ones that you showed me look very cool.
They do.
If I really like the movie, I'm probably going to get those.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I hope you do. I have to come and get pictures and put my statues next to yours and take pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they'll be in the same scale? Or sorry, that's getting away from the podcast, but carrying on. I think we've covered a lot of ground today with that trailer. Lots of new content has been shown, and a lot of hype has been built up, and tension for it to be good.
So, just like you said, tons of content. I'm more and more stoked every single day. We've reached a point now where the movie's going to be 2 months away.
It's almost upon us.
It's almost upon us. Exactly.
It's going to come out of nowhere, from behind, and assassinate us.
From a hay bale. It's definitely an exciting time to be an Assassin's Creed fan. So if you're still going to be sticking around with us and listening to our episodes, we're just getting started. The review, if that is our next episode, will be coming 2 months from now. Unless there's another trailer dropped, we'll be doing another trailer review. I doubt at this point. It's getting really close to the movie, so there's a lot of good things coming out with Assassin's Creed right now, so definitely stay tuned. But otherwise, make sure to check out our Facebook at GeekVerse Podcast, and also on Twitter, GeekVerse Cast. We're also on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and if you also are interested in checking out our website, we're on geekversepodcast.com. We have lots of content on there, up to date, all of our episodes and everything, so it's great. Give it a good look over there. Other than that, I wish you all a very farewell.
And that looks like it's all the time we have then, so we will see you next time. Now, be prepared for the outro.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 5 of Geeks Creed via the GeekVerse. We'll see you in the search bar.